All right, so this time we're going to do breaking bad news. So what are the key things? Active listening, maintaining eye contact. Of course, reasonable eye contact. You don't need to stare into their eyeball the entire presentation, okay? But reasonable eye contact, okay? Relaxed, be open. What you should do, non-verbal communication. You can always nod. Wow. Oh, I see. Okay. Just so you can nod. So allow the patient to talk. You don't always have to have something to say. It's okay to nod. It's okay to be quiet. Okay. Don't interrupt your patient. There's nothing you want to say that is more important than what the patient has to tell you. Okay. Yes, I know the time chokes you, but nothing is more important than what the patient. When you're practicing over the phone, sometimes you might mistake the pause for patient keeping quiet, but in real life, you would know when somebody is paused or when somebody wants to speak, okay? So don't interrupt the patient. Again, now spikes. Setting, perception, invitation. Yes. Knowledge. Okay, let's go over invitation then. Now, you can see the other invitation was, what would you like me to talk about? Now, the invitation here is, first, the perception is, has anybody spoken to you about the news? Okay. Then invitation. Would you want to hear the test results? Obviously, those questions can seem like, oh, duh, it's very obvious. But for the purpose of us, please, it's not obvious. Just say it, okay? So sometimes those questions feel weird, like, isn't it obvious? Okay. Then how much? Yes, how much would you like to know? Okay. And would you like anybody present? And how much of the information would you like to know? Okay. So how much of the information would you like to know? Would you like me to say everything? Would you like anyone present here? Now, your knowledge. When you're giving the news, please give it in layers. Okay. Give a warning shot. Some people say, unfortunately, I do not have good news for you. Okay. Or unfortunately, the results were not as we hoped. Okay? Give a warning shot. Don't just jump to, okay, so I can see from my results here that you've been diagnosed, and then you keep your voice, I've been diagnosed with breast cancer. Like, bro, sis, like, don't do that, okay? So unfortunately, I do have your test results here. You can ask, is there any concerns about the results? Is there anything you're hoping the results might show? Do you have any concerns? Then after that, unfortunately, the results are not as we hoped. Okay. Then give the diagnosis. And the second part is the most important. So the test result shows that you might be having breast cancer. Please pause. Okay. There is nothing, this is not the time to impress. Oh, for breast cancer, we're going to refer to specialists. They would see you. They would do this. No. Unfortunately, the test results indicate that you might have breast cancer. Pause. And why do you pause? You allow the patient to react. You allow them to show emotions. Okay? You allow them to show their emotions. Now, of course, there are different reactions. Some patients will cry. Then you can offer tissue. But if they don't cry, please don't offer tissue. Like, don't look ridiculous, okay? Somebody's not crying, you're offering tissue. Why? Okay? Some patients will just be stunned and silent and allow the silence. Yes, your time is going. Allow at least for 30 seconds, okay? Sometimes what will happen is that the patient will put the head down to indicate that, and that's not the time to keep talking. Oh, I'm really sorry. I know this is not the news. Again, there's no amount of sorry that really does anything, okay? So just allow them to react. Then when they raise their head up, you would know that's a clue for you that they are ready for you to continue talking. Sometimes they will continue talking. Sometimes they put their head down. But the moment they leave their head up, then that's a clue that it's okay for you to continue. Then again, when you're about to continue, just empathize. I'm truly sorry. I know this is not what you hoped for. Again, I can't imagine what it's like. Okay? Don't say I understand. You don't understand. Are you diagnosed with cancer? You don't. Okay? I mean, if you know, you can say it nicely, sure. But I know sometimes when people say it, it doesn't come out, it doesn't gel very well. Okay? Then after that, you explain. Okay? So for this is what we plan to do. So empathy. Your E is empathy. Ask, how do you feel about this? How are you feeling about this news? I know this comes as a shock to you. I know this is not what you expected. Validate their feelings. Okay? Validate their feelings. Empathize. Then, of course, you offer solutions. Okay? So what we're going to do onward. All right. So our plan is, again, let them know that I know this is not what you expect. I know this is quite difficult, but I want to assure you that we're going to do everything within our best to take good care of you. We have specialists that are trained to deal with conditions like this. Okay? And there are a few treatment options that we can go over. Is that okay with you? Okay? Allow the patient to speak. So again, acknowledge, reflect their emotion. Sometimes their body language is sad. Sometimes they don't talk. They're just really sad. I can see you're really shocked by this news. Okay? It's not to the patient say, hey, or ha. Just being quiet is shock. So acknowledge it. I can see this is quite shocking for you. I can see this is not what you expect. Okay? It's not every patient that will be dramatic. Sometimes it's silence, and sometimes they show more, emotions. Patients may ask you, doctor, will I die? Who wants to try to answer that question? Doctor, will I die? Anybody wants to attempt? Okay, let me check the chat box. Please tell me that's a joke. Please tell me that's definitely a joke, right? Definitely. I'm sure you're just trying to make the room lighter, right? Oh my God.
We can say, I'm sorry you feel that way, but we're here to support you in and make sure that doesn't happen. We're here to support and help with whatever treatment that's, can help alleviate this condition.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah. All right. So that's a very valid fear. Yes, I like that response as well, right? That's a very valid fear. Okay.
Can we say something like we need to do further investigations and then the specialist to be able to tell you better what the, outlook will be?
Okay. So you need to first validate. You're giving solution, but you do not validate that thing that they just expressed. So you didn't actually answer their question. You just kind of evaded the question. You need to validate it, right? So that's a valid fear. That's a valid concern. We're definitely going to do everything in our power to prevent that, to ensure that you're fine. Okay, so you have to validate it. It's important. There is something they call the EVE protocol. I don't know if anybody, I also in club, 2 people are familiar. Okay, so EVE is the E. So I know it's okay. Yeah, explore, validate, then empathize. Okay. So I can see that in this group, there is opportunity to learn from everyone. From all these sentences here, you can pick one. If it's me, I would have written 1 or 2 at least from what I said in the group chats, because you can learn. It's a room to learn from other people. Okay, it's an opportunity to learn from others. And very important, do not falsely reassure your patient. Okay, so definitely you cannot say yes, you will die, or no, you won't die. So you don't say no, you won't die. Really, you cannot tell, but you just want to assure first, yes, that is a very valid fear. That's a very valid concern. Then you proffer solution. I want to assure you, we'll do everything in our power to prevent, we'll do everything that we can to help you. We have specialists who are trained. They will do everything they can for the best possible outcome. Okay, so you have, again, all these things, be writing them down, like, not be writing. You would, one or two will become part of you, okay? So thank you very much, everybody, for sharing that, okay? So, and anytime you're asked question in exam, the truth is that the first reaction for all of us to do is to answer. But I've learned that it's okay to explore that feeling. Or if it's not a feeling that can be explored, like, why do you think you will die? Obviously, it's silly in a patient that you just told has breast cancer, okay? What you can do is to validate the feeling, then, provide solution. Because also, me too, it was something I had to be intentional about. Like when somebody asked me a question like that, will you die? Either I stammer or I'm not really sure how to answer it. So I'm just like, okay. Sometimes I don't answer the question, but I've learned to use my Eve, okay? Explore, validate, empathize. Then I provide solution, okay? Don't say patients will not die, okay? Because they might die. All right, so phrases you might find helpful. I know this is quite a shock. I'm sorry, this is not the news you were expecting, okay? And overall, be kind. Think about how the patient is impacted by this. The present, yes, it's a role play, but trust me, if you take it serious, you can connect with your patient. You can connect deeply with that person in front of you, and they will love you because there is that authenticity about you, okay? Don't let the exam anxiety take over your authenticity. Be authentic, be kind, be present, be yourself. Use a lot of interpersonal skills. Don't just tell somebody, oh, you have breast cancer. Like, nobody says that. When I say nobody says that, people have done it in exam. Like, people that don't have the right, and it's because they don't have the right information, okay? They don't have the right, they didn't know better. Well, you know better, so you should definitely do better, okay? So don't forget to use your spikes. Invitation. Very mindful. So I do have your test result here. How much would you like to know about the results? Would you like somebody to be present here while I give you the results? Okay. Now, I want you to know that the results is not as we had hoped for. Or unfortunately, I don't have good news. And you modulate your voice as well. You cannot be giving bad news and your voice is, unfortunately, I don't have good news for you, devoid of emotions. You can't do that. Like, you have to, like, you guys ever watch movie and when something, like when they're about to transition to a sad part, you will see how the music will come in. You will see how the tempo will go down. That's the same thing that you're expected to do, So you have to learn to modulate your voice. It's a lot of acting. It's a lot of drama, okay? So you modulate your voice. I do not have good news for you, okay? Or the result is not as we hoped for. Then I'm sorry to tell you this, but the test result shows that you have breast cancer. Then you pause. Okay? I'm so sorry this is not the news you were expecting. I'm quite sorry this is a huge shock for you. Okay? Then allow the patient. Okay, don't worry, you're going to have enough time. Okay, you're going to have more than enough time. And provide support to your patient. When you think of support like counseling, support like nurses, other medical team. Okay, so think of the patient holistically. So it's not enough to refer to specialists. You might ask the patient if you notice that you're having difficulty coping with this, if you need to talk to somebody, we can refer you for talk therapy. Okay, so be intentional, provide support to your patient. Okay, so show care, show concern about the patient.